Okay folks, here's a big day for Highland Outbuildings. We got a customer who purchased a tiny home studio from us. This is a 12 by 30 with some really clever design elements. So our customer is gonna move into this thing, and he wanted a bathroom. He wanted all kinds of additional features in the way of wiring. So we have multiple switches, we've got speaker wire in the walls. We've got a really cool building here. So it's a little bit snowy. This is not easy. Ben made it most of the way up. So I'm gonna give him a hand and we'll get this thing on the pad. We got a nice gravel pad over here. So I'm gonna try to be as useful as I can. See if he needs me here, excuse me. So we're a little bit stuck. We're gonna use my truck to get Ben's truck pulled up just a little bit further. Ben's just doing some of the unstrapping here. So this big old girl, Ben's got a huge trailer. If you need a big load moved, he's got a 40-footer here. We're not even using the whole thing up, but he's got it so that we can easily get the building off the back. And we made her with a good looking build here. We matched the color of the existing barn. They opted for charcoal for the trim. All the windows are caulked up nicely. This is what you get if you get an exterior plug, for example. So Sean from Central Electric does all the electrical work for us. Looks good. Well, in classic figure it out fashion, we now have this truck hooked up to the back of the trailer. He's getting really slippery up here, so he can't get any traction with the dually. So we're gonna put a little bit of pressure on the back of this trailer and hopefully straighten his truck out once I start pulling. You ready to go, Benny? Yep. All right, so we got her where we need her. The back end's looking good. Once we get the building coming off the trailer, we're gonna take it that way, just a couple of feet, but Ben will do that once it's mostly on the ground. But we're looking pretty close to dropping this thing off the trailer here. Look at that color match. So Ben's trailer again is a big, this is 40 feet long, right? Yep. So because it's 40 feet long, it's a completely different process than the gas operated hydraulic trailer that Greg uses. It's much slower, which is a good thing because you want to be really gentle with a building this big, right? So once we get the rear skis on the ground, then he'll eventually pull out and it'll just slide right down. We had a couple of these little wheels designed to protect the trailer and the building, and they should just roll down the track here on its way off there. So this is the first time we've used those. It's a bit of a test, and we'll see how she goes. Well, there's a beautiful view here for a beautiful little Highland outbuilding. So this is a 12 by 30, matches the barn right beside us, and a very unique building. So come on in here with me for a second and check this out. Those are speaker wires hanging out, and we've got little spots all the way around the building for the customer wanted speakers in here. So small window here, larger 4x3 windows on these walls. This is the west facing wall, so they're going to be able to capture the sunset over there, which is pretty cool. This building is completely clad in cedar on the inside, which is unique. There's a small closet over here where the guys built a custom door for that. So for jackets and boots, you got to take advantage of every square inch that you can in a small space like this. And then in the bathroom here, the customer's opting to do his own plumbing, so we sent a little bit of extra cedar with him so that if he cuts some holes in the walls, he can fix that up. It's gonna be a nice big shower along the end here, and room over here for a washing machine. So got a 60 amp panel in there, another custom door. And then this is wide open. So we call this a studio tiny home. A lot of people want, cordoned off bedrooms. In my opinion, that's something you should think long and hard about, because you end up with a nice big space like this. If you can deal with the bed in your living space, he's gonna have a desk over here, which is why we have all the lines running to this general area with the switches to run all the lights. You end up with a building that feels a lot bigger than it is. So this is 12 by 30, and it feels like it. If we stuck a wall down there and cordoned off that bedroom as a separate space, it's gonna feel like a much smaller building. So this is pretty cool. This is a Highland Outbuilding tiny studio, clad in steel on the outside, clad in cedar on the inside. Pretty cool, eh? Well, listen, folks, this will be our last video before Christmas. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we hope to see you someday to drop a Highland Outbuilding off. Maybe you have a view like this you want to capture with a couple of big windows. You can check us out at highlandoutbuildings.com. Call me anytime. 705-309-9088. Cheers.